That gentle, damp press of a nose against your hand, your leg, your face. It's one of the most common and easily recognized interactions we have with our dogs. Most of us write it off as a simple request for a scratch behind the ears or a sign that the food bowl is empty. But what if I told you that this single, simple gesture is one of the most complex and nuanced parts of their language? That little nudge is a sophisticated message, a tool your dog uses to say a dozen different things. It's a direct line of communication from their world to ours, rooted in ancient instincts and adapted for their life with you. Understanding the difference between a soft, lingering push and a sharp, insistent jab is like learning to understand the difference between a whisper and a shout. Today, we're decoding the nose nudge. We're going to translate these subtle signals so you can understand exactly what your best friend is trying to tell you. Let's start with the gentlest message of all. Number 1, the nudge of pure affection. This is the nudge that feels less like a push and more like a gentle lean. Your dog might approach you while you're sitting on the couch or resting in bed and just press their nose softly against your arm or leg and hold it there. There's no urgency to it. They're not trying to lead you anywhere or demand anything. This is the canine equivalent of a loved one resting their head on your shoulder. It is a quiet, profound statement of trust, comfort, and deep affection. In a dog pack, physical contact is crucial for maintaining social bonds. Grooming, leaning, and sleeping in contact with one another reinforces their connection. When your dog gives you this gentle, sustained nudge, they are including you in their pack in the most fundamental way. They are saying, "You are my family. I feel safe with you. I love you." It's a moment of pure connection, a quiet check-in that reaffirms your bond without a single bark or whine. It's a beautiful, passive gesture that asks for nothing in return except your presence. But sometimes, that gentle nudge has a more specific and even more incredible purpose. This brings us to our second point, the emotional check-in. Dogs are masters of observation, and they are especially attuned to our emotional state. They don't just see that you're sad or stressed. They can often smell it. When you're anxious or upset, your body chemistry changes, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your dog's incredible nose, which has up to 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our meager 6 million, can detect these subtle shifts in your scent profile. When they sense something is wrong, they often deploy the nose nudge as a diagnostic tool. This nudge is often soft, but a little more inquisitive than the purely affectionate one. They might push their nose into your hand and then look up at your face, their eyes full of concern. They are asking a question. Are you okay? I sense a change in you. It's their way of offering comfort and support. Many owners report their dogs becoming extra nudgy during times of grief, illness, or high stress, acting as a furry, four-legged therapist. This isn't just your imagination. They are actively responding to your emotional state and trying to provide solace in the best way they know how. This ability to connect and communicate on such a deep level is incredible. But where did this specific behavior even come from? The origin of the nudge is tied directly to a dog's most basic, primal instinct for survival. Reason number 3. The puppyhood instinct. To understand the modern nudge, we have to go back to the first few days of a puppy's life. When puppies are born, they are blind, deaf, and completely dependent on their mother for everything. Their primary tool for survival in those early weeks is their sense of touch and smell. To get the life-sustaining milk they need, a puppy will press and nudge against their mother's belly. This action, called rooting, stimulates the flow of milk from her teats. This nudge equals reward connection is one of the very first and most powerful lessons a dog ever learns. It is literally imprinted into their brain. Nudge, and you shall receive nourishment, comfort, and security. As that puppy grows up and becomes part of your family, that instinct doesn't just disappear. It gets repurposed. You have now taken on the role of the provider, the source of all good things in their life: food, water, shelter, walks, and love. So, that deeply ingrained puppy behavior is transferred onto you. The nudge that once meant, "I need milk, mother," now evolves into a broader communication tool that means, "I need something, provider." This brings us to the type of nudge we are all very familiar with. The nudge that is anything but subtle. Number 4. The clear demand. This is the nudge that has purpose. It's not a soft lean or a gentle question. It's an insistent, often repeated poke. It's your dog's way of saying, "Hey, human, pay attention to me. I need you to do something right now." The meaning of this demand nudge is usually clarified by context. If your dog nudges you and then glances pointedly toward the back door, the message is clear. I need to go outside. If they push their snout into your hand, and then walk over to their empty water bowl and look back at you, they're not being mysterious. This is your dog using a two-step communication process. Step 1 is getting your attention with the nudge. Step 2 is using eye contact and body language to direct that attention toward what they want. It's a remarkably effective way of guiding their very large, sometimes very distracted human. It can be a nudge for dinner, a nudge to initiate a play session, or a nudge to tell you it's time for the evening walk. But what about the nudge that seems to come out of nowhere? When all their needs are met. Their bowl is full, they've just been outside, and you've been playing all afternoon. This isn't just a simple request. This is your dog trying to tell you something far more urgent, a message about their environment that you might be missing entirely. It's a nudge that means there's danger. This is our fifth and perhaps most critical reason, the urgent warning. Think about it. Your world is perceived primarily through sight and sound. Theirs is a world of scent. A universe of information completely invisible to us. What is your dog smelling that you can't even comprehend? When a dog nudges you with a strange intensity, a focus that feels different from their usual requests for a walk or a treat, they might be trying to sound an alarm. There are countless documented cases of dogs persistently nudging their owners, leading them to discover gas leaks, electrical fires smoldering within walls, or even the presence of a dangerous intruder. They can smell the subtle change in the air, the ozone from a faulty wire, or the foreign scent of a person who shouldn't be there. That insistent poke isn't a request for a game. It's a four-legged smoke detector, a furry security system trying to tell you to get out. But what if the danger isn't in your house? What if the danger is inside you? This is where the nudge becomes almost supernatural. Medical alert dogs are trained to do this, but many household pets have demonstrated this ability without any training at all. They nudge to warn of an impending seizure, minutes before it happens. They nudge a diabetic owner whose blood sugar has dropped to a critical low during their sleep. How? They smell the infinitesimal chemical changes your body produces during these medical events. Could that persistent nudge be more than an annoyance? Could it be a life-saving alarm bell you're ignoring? It's a profound thought. Your dog isn't just living in your world. They are actively monitoring it. And you, for threats you can't perceive. But sometimes the nudge isn't about you at all. Sometimes your dog is the one who needs help, and this simple gesture is their only way to ask for it. This brings us to a more vulnerable and often overlooked meaning behind the nudge. Number 6, the confession. What if your dog is nudging you because they're confessing something they can't otherwise express? Not a want, but a deep internal state of being. It's a nudge that says, I'm in pain, I'm scared, or even, I don't recognize this place anymore. An older dog, his muzzle dusted with gray, may nudge your knee not to ask for a walk, but to tell you that his hips ache with arthritis. It's a quiet confession of his own frailty. A dog, terrified by the sudden crack of fireworks, might push its head insistently into your lap, a muffled plea for safety in a world that has suddenly become loud and frightening. This is the nudge of pure vulnerability. And perhaps most heartbreakingly, a dog suffering from cognitive dysfunction, a form of canine dementia, may nudge you out of sheer confusion. They are lost in their own home, and that gentle push is them trying to find a familiar anchor in a world that no longer makes sense. So you see, the nudge is never just a nudge. It is a language all its own. From a soft hello to a desperate help me, this single, simple gesture contains the entire spectrum of a dog's inner world. It is a greeting, a sign of affection, a relic of instinct, a clear demand, an urgent warning, and a vulnerable confession. It's a single, physical word with 1,000 different meanings, a word that requires you to listen not with your ears, but with your eyes, your intuition, and your heart. That simple push is the most profound bridge between our world and theirs, a silent conversation that has been unfolding between our species for millennia. It is the physical manifestation of an unbreakable bond, a transfer of trust, of vulnerability, of a life completely and totally shared. So the next time your dog nudges you, pause for a moment before you react. Look at their body. Look in their eyes. Consider the context. Ask yourself, what are they really saying to me right now? Is it a question, a statement, a warning, or a confession? Because every nudge, every tail wag, every soft sigh is a piece of that beautiful, complex language. If you want to become more fluent, to decode the secret conversations happening in your own home, and deepen the incredible bond you share with your dog, then join our pack. Subscribe to Canis and never miss another